Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is KarQ, and today I am joined by Stevooo.
Hey guys, I'm Stevooo, and I stream on Twitch, and I main Symmetra.
We're going to be bringing you one Symmetra tip versus every hero to help you deal with each matchup. Now before that, here is a general tip on how to approach and play the new Symmetra.
The new Symmetra is very team reliant as she requires time and space in order for her to set up to be fully effective. Now that she's much more viable on attack, use your TP aggressively to establish early high ground or onto points in order to force engages immediately. You should be constantly spamming your secondary fire most of the time, as your primary fire is f***ing garbage unless you're able to charge it on the shield or tank.
And with that out of the way, let's get started.
Against D.Va, try to get a fully charged secondary fire early on to remove her armor if possible. Then, use your primary fire on her because she can't matrix it and it allows you to ramp up your damage off her. As soon as she's demeching, shoot your charged secondary fire in either melee if she's close or primary fire if she's out of range. Additionally, if she throws out her D.Va bomb and you don't have anywhere to hide, TP away or wall it off. Against Orisa, you can charge your primary laser off her barrier and hold it until it breaks, since you gain ammo from hitting barriers. You can also use your wall to separate her supercharger from her teammates, since they need direct line of sight to benefit from it. Against Reinhardt, your sentries are his biggest weakness if he's holding his shield up, because if 3 of them are focusing him, he literally cannot f***ing move. This means he's forced to turn around and face his shield onto them or swing to destroy it. This opens up opportunities for your team to punish him with your own Reinhardt shatter. Additionally, you can charge your primary fire off of his shield and TP teammates out of his charge path. Against Roadhog, you can throw out a sentry to block his hook, but you have to aim it near his belly. If you aim too high, low, or off to the side, his hook may still connect. If Winston is jumping you and you have your supports backing you up with heals, try to escape his bubble while charging your primary fire and challenge him back, or else TP out because you'll end up losing. Against Hammond, a single well-placed sentry is enough to stop his fiery momentum, and is enough to prevent him from gaining that fiery speed during his grappling call until he is out of the sentry range. Additionally, if he drops his minefield, your sentries are a great counter because they just zap the shit out of it. If Zarya grabs you and your team, you can place your TP down and have your team escape. Additionally, you can charge your primary fire damage and still earn ammo back against Zarya's bubble at the expense of her gaining energy. Bastion is usually played alongside other heroes that enable him, such as Orisa, Rein, or D.Va. The best thing you can do is spam your secondary fires onto him or the shield, and set up a TP behind him, along with sentries to distract him from shooting your team. Previously, one of the best counterplays to Doomfist was to drop your TP in front of you because it intercepts Rocket Punch. With this being patched, the best thing you can do is set up a sentry nest near anyone he's going to dive. If he connects his seismic slam, you're f***ed, so try to get some secondary fires off on him before you go down. If you hear a Genji pull out his ultimate, drop your TP down so he has to choose between 2 options, making it difficult for him to get a kill and reset on his dash. Additionally, tossing a sentry down on the floor may sometimes be enough to spook him from dashing into you. Generally speaking, Hanzo is strong against Symmetra, and the best thing you can do is try to get a sneaky TP bomb behind him or land your secondary fires. Against Junkrat, you can teleport out of his trap and break it to escape. Against McCree, throwing out your sentry and even just hiding behind it can block the high noon. If that's not possible, just wall him off. Forehead. If you hear Mei use Blizzard, drop your TP immediately, which will allow you to escape it before you're frozen. Just note that your wall will not block her Blizzard from dealing damage and freezing you. There's not much you can do against Fair, but if she uses her Rocket Barrage, you can throw a few secondary fires at her, or you can use your wall and have her eliminate herself from the splash damage. There's not much to say against Reaper, he thrives at close range, so teleport you or your teammates out if he's able to get the jump on them. Against Death Blossom, it's hard to reactively use your wall against it because there's too much time wasted trying to cast it, reorient it, and place it down, so I would recommend secondary firing him. Against Soldier, your wall is a big counter to him and his tactical visor. You can also throw out your sentry to block his Helix rocket if you see it coming directly at you. Against Sombra, you can hold your primary fire and spin around to potentially break herself if you're expecting her to be around your team. Additionally, there's a couple of important interactions to remember with these heroes. 1. EMP completely destroys your wall, and 2. You can no longer set up a sentry nest and camp her translocator because it will lock on and destroy it. In the Symmetra vs Symmetra matchup, it's a bit weird as the first person to hit their secondary fire first will probably win. Additionally, whoever has their sentry set up first will have a natural advantage because any sentries being launched by the other person will be zapped down. Against Torb, it's your job to spam secondary fire orbs at his turret to destroy it. Avoid launching your sentries across his turret's line of sight because it will shoot them down. Against Tracer, secondary fire in a melee is a one-shot combo of 120 damage plus 30. If you place your wall optimally on certain maps, it can make Widow completely useless and force her to front line and play like Widow 76. Additionally, if you're sneaky and she's not paying attention, you can place a TP behind her, put a sentry through, then secondary fire and melee combo her and she'll probably die. Ana's primary fire is slow, so TPing your sentries is really powerful as it would often force her nade cooldown. It's so good that you can even set the TP behind her by itself without any sentries just to waste her grenade. You can throw out your sentry and block Bridget's whip shot if you get lucky on the timing, but generally speaking she's a fucking nightmare to play against if she gets near you. TP out and run. One of the most powerful tools against Lucio is using your wall to cut off the sound barrier from reaching his teammates since he needs direct line of sight. Your sentries can also disrupt his pathing for his wall rides, so place them in spots where you think he'll go. If an enemy dies, set up some sentries near the body so it deters her from going for the res. If she decides to go for it, you can spam her with secondary fires. In an exclusive 1v1 against Moira, she's going to beat you unless you land 2 secondary fires or more, which is already very difficult since she can fade, lifesteal, and throw a healing orb to top herself back up. An important thing to remember is that your wall would prevent her from pissing on her teammates. Against Zen, use your wall to cut off healing from his Transcendence, which is actually fairly easy to pull off if they're in a Zarya graph. In a 1v1, it's a pretty even matchup, and with his large hitbox, it's fairly easy to land your secondary fires.
And that's all the heroes. Shout out to Stevooo for taking the time to collaborate with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, thank you for having me, KarQ. You can find my streams at twitch.tv/just_Stevooo, and my games on YouTube /just_Stevooo as well.